about? Really just comes down to confidence. A lot of guys, we just got to make sure we have good confidence in ourselves, and we just fly around and know the defensive playbook. This new playbook is a little different than last year's playbook, but with that, we can, play a little faster, play a little quicker, and things like that. So just make sure we're staying confident and make sure we're flying around to the ball.
Are there like specific stats though that Coach Banks will talk about? Hey, we want to be good in this, or we're talking about this frequently.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah. Alontae, Coach was talking just moments ago about taking the job in January. There's kind of a catch-up, that you got to do. Do you feel like with the first-year coach, are y'all still playing catch-up, or do you feel like y'all are in a good spot going into preseason?
I wouldn't really call it catch-up necessarily. Coach Heupel came in, got us staffed really fast, so our players could actually not sit around and wait to figure out who our coaches were. We got them fast, so we built that relationship really quick. And by doing that, I feel like it was like walking in the park. Guys sat in the meeting rooms. I'm talking about you go in the facility, guys are upstairs meeting with their individual coaches, figuring out the playbook and things like that. So I wouldn't necessarily call it catch-up, but I think we are exactly where we need to be just going into training camp.
When did things start getting better for you? With it, when you consider the season you had last year, the coaching change, there was players leaving the portal. I mean, it seemed like there was just a run of bad news. When did for you things kind of finally start turning the corner?
I feel like whenever we started doing all of our team activities and we had the program come in and just work with us as a group, and just seeing our team collide or combine together and just make that family feeling that we once thought that we had, but now we really do have. I feel like that's when it happened, because then you started to see everyone having more fun. People are excited to come to the facility. People are excited to work out. So,
have you been able to be around Brandon Turnage much?
I have. Me and Brandon, we work out every morning at 7.
What have you seen from him?
Brandon's my guy. Brandon's a hard worker. We were actually goofing off about this the other day about coming from the same defensive playbook. With this defensive playbook, it's different names, basically the same stuff, but me and Brandon will look at each other and we'll call an old name that we learned from the old defense. And Brandon's a hard worker, I can tell. And Brandon's a really good guy. Brandon's funny, but he knows when it's time to work and when to put his head down and just grind.
What about Juan Mitchell? What have you seen from him this offseason?
Juan Mitchell, he's been working really hard. A guy that has a lot of passion about what he does, and he focuses on the little details. So, yeah.
How much do you feel like some of these older, experienced guys that have come in here, like a Caleb Tremblay, I think he's going to be old enough where he can rent a car at some point during the season.
Yeah.
How much do you feel like that they can help you all because of the experience they have at other places?
Yeah, I feel like experience is a big thing. Just playing a lot of ball, being able to pick the brains of someone who's older and figure out what they've learned and what has made them better, and figure out what they failed at and what we could do not to make sure that doesn't happen. So, yeah.
Is there a specific? I don't want you to. Now, I guess I am asking you to pinpoint one guy. Is there somebody when they walked in the door you're like, whoa, look at this guy?
Yeah, Juju from Texas, linebacker from Texas. I looked at him and I was like, whoa. I was just like, bro. And Juju's a good guy, good leader, a guy who's really taught me a lot of things already just from what he's learned at Texas. Then he brought over here to us. So yeah.
What are some of those things that he's brought?
Really just like the mindset and the mentality of, kill. One of the things that I took from him when we break it down is empty the clip. And I never really thought of that, and I kind of took it from him since we don't work out anymore. So whenever we break it down, I tell him empty the clip on 3. So, it's just all about going in there, and you got a clip full of energy, you got all this passion. Just make sure you empty it in the weight room, or rather you're running, whatever it may be.
You've been here for a few years now. Do you feel like at the same time, like a different voice, especially defensively, can be a good thing for some of you guys? Just not that the last staff did anything wrong, but just a different kind of demeanor, a different approach can be a wake-up call for some guys?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of was talking to the guys about that, actually. We were just talking about how things are different here, but at the end of the day, football is football, defense is defense, and there's one ball, right? So the goal of playing defense is to defend the ball and to make tackles. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's a different voice, but at the end of the day, we're just still playing football. So
you scored a touchdown on a fumble recovery, but you not had the pick six. Is that the one thing you've not done that you'd like to get done?
Most definitely. Against Texas A&M, I actually thought I was going to crib that pick, but those O-linemen was moving. So, but yeah.
Sorry you've been asked this already, but what does it mean to you to be able to represent Tennessee at the SEC Media Days?
It's a blessing. I get a big smile on my face when I think about it, just because as a kid coming in as an early enrollee, I wrote that down. It's probably the very last goal, the dream that I wrote down was to represent the university and the program. So being able to do that is a blessing for me, and I get so excited about it, and I just pray that, God uses me and just tells the message through me about our university and about our great program.
We've had a couple of defensive players tell us in the past that this new scheme kind of feels a little bit more natural and they feel a little bit more comfortable just going out there and playing football. Do you kind of get that same feeling, and what does that kind of look like for you?
I wouldn't necessarily say more comfortable. Like I said, football is football. It's all basically the same things. There's different names to it and different checks and things like that. The last defense, I love that defense that we played, and this defense, I'm loving it as well. So, it is a little bit bit easier as far as on the mental and as far as checks and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. You just got to go out there and play ball because the call doesn't make the play. The player makes the play.
I mean, I know you play for Banks and more specifically Willie, but is there a coach on the staff that you've really kind of gotten to know and like to just go in his office and sit down and shoot the bull with?
Really, you said it, Coach Martinez. Coach Martinez recruited me in high school, and I thought I was going to get to play for him. And then whenever he had left and went to Cincinnati and then UCF following that, I was kind of like, well, that sucks. But then Coach Martinez actually came in whenever he got hired and came and tapped me on my back and gave him the biggest hug in the world. Just Coach Martinez being a guy I've trusted in, he's believed in me, so one of the guys that I connect with all the time.
I know you mentioned playing defense is defense, but you said you loved last defense and now this one. What do you like specifically about playing in this defensive scheme?
Playing in this defensive scheme, I feel more so like I can move a little faster. I don't have to think so much about what my job is. So I feel like that's probably the biggest thing because at the end of the day, I'm doing the same job. It's just now I don't have to think so much as far as checks, rather the tight ends off the ball or on the ball if he's jacking or anything like that.
Do you have any personal goals that you're working on for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I am. My biggest goal is being consistent with what I do. And then on top of that, being a consistent leader on my team. I feel like whenever I got hurt last year, I kind of backed off my leadership role because I felt like I wasn't wanted or needed, I guess you could say. But being more consistent on my own play, but being more consistent as a leader, rather I'm up or I'm down.
Do you feel like you guys are kind of flying under the radar? Nobody expects much of this team. All that talk about the investigation, all that other stuff. Do you feel like that's a good thing because you just kind of can go to work and not worry about the expectations or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I do feel like we're flying under the radar, but I'm not big on just trying to throw that out there and just let everyone know, like, hey, look at us, look at us. We're working really hard. We have a good coaching staff. We have a good strength and conditioning staff, and we're working on everything in the dark. So when it does come to the light, everyone will realize that we are actually good as we say we are.
Alontae, I'm so sorry. I double-clicked on it and missed it, but
We'll get one more and then we'll be done.
no worries. And you've answered this question a couple times, but again, being here representing your team at SEC Media Days.
It's a blessing, man. I was saying earlier, I just get a big smile on my face. A dream come true. I got to sit here and go through many adversity, trials, and things like that, and just be able to stick it through. And still, my dream coming true to do this and represent my program and the University of Tennessee is a blessing. So.